Oh my god, guys, we are back. I actually haven't been this excited for a while to have a UFC card. Maybe because the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks have been dog shit. Pretty bad. They've been pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, like so bad. I was like watching Ryzen fights. I've just actually been training MMA more now instead of just sitting around in my house. Anyways, before I get too deep into this, but we're gonna break down the full fight card, predictions and everything for O'Malley versus Merab 2. I'm actually really excited for this fight. A lot of people were not super excited for this when it first came out, me included. I was excited, but I wasn't like hype of the first one. Now, in the week building up to it, maybe it's because the last couple cards have absolutely sucked balls, but my hype's back. I'm really excited to see this fight card, and all in all, it's a pretty good fight card. I was so bored with the UFC the last couple of weeks that I was looking for Ryzen sandals to wear at the BJJ gym and couldn't get them in Canada. Ended up going with these bad boys, like full-on skull things. So I'm going to be clomping my dirty toes around the BJJ gym with some skull sandals. I don't know. I was looking for something that would increase the height to make me look a little taller than I am. Maybe intimidation factor, I'm not sure. If you can't see, we ran a marathon the other day. But before I dive too deep into bullshit, let's go down to the bottom of this card. We're going to start at the bottom of the card and go up to the top. If you guys want to skip to the end and just see the main event predictions, by all means go for it. But there's a couple fights in here that are pretty good that I want to break down and go through. So let's do it. This first fight, Markel Mirandos versus Mark Janowski. I don't even know if this fight is still happening, but I haven't watched this guy's fight, so we're going to skip this one. But Quinn Saukield versus Yanal Ashmuz. Man, my pronunciation on these names, again, is always awful, but we're working towards it. We're working towards a better, just to be better at it, bro. I got hit a lot sparring with it. Quinn Saukield, I think, is probably the better fighter in this fight, probably the more technical fighter in this fight. And I do think he's going to get it done. We're not going to spend too much time on these, but I could see him having some troubles with Yanal Ashmuz. I just think Quinn Saukield's pretty good. I think he's a pretty hyped up fighter. Like, not like, O'Malley vibe when he was coming up, but like, he's a pretty hyped up fighter for his talent level, but I do think he is good, and I do think he will win this fight. I just see him being a little bit better everywhere, and a little bit trickier on the feet. So I'm going to go with Quinn Saukield. I don't think he's going to finish here. I think he's going to win a decision, but I mean, he's a huge favorite. I don't think he should be that big a favorite, but he's a huge favorite. Again, two people I haven't watched a whole lot of their fights. Jeka Sari versus Jo Sang-yu. I mean, I can't even see what Jo Sang-yu looks like, but from what I remember Jo Sang-yu looks like, he's in pretty good shape. I think he's a pretty good fighter. He's pretty talented. He's kind of like the, what do you want to call it? This is a weird-ass tattoo, I'm not going to lie. He's kind of like the next coming of the Korean zombie vibe. Not really, but like, he's like a prospect from Korea, and he is pretty good. He's 8-0. He's fought some, pretty questionable talent coming up, but he's also fought some good talent and won. I think he's probably a little bit better all around than Jirka Sagi, and I think he's going to win the fight. He's a favorite to win the fight. Boy, that shit's good. And I expect him to win the fight, honestly. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout or anything crazy, but I do think he's probably a better, more well-rounded fighter, and I do think he's got the bench and the grappling and other stuff as well. So, Wang Kong, Shikin Wang Mai Kong. I actually really like Wang Kong. She's a probably, I mean, so can Ariana De Silva, but I think Wang Kong is probably one of the more exciting fighters in the women's divisions, like in general, not just flyweights, that we've seen in a while. And it's exciting to have her in the division. I think she's a good fighter. I know did she lose her last one or she won her last one? I can't remember. But I know she lost one of her fights in the UFC, but otherwise she's looked quite good. And I think that was not the best representation of her actual skill. I know she's, not deemed to be like the best grappler ever, but her striking is, supposed to be really good. Apparently, well, she did beat Valentina in a kickboxing match. But I think her striking is good. I think her takedown defense and her grappling is a little bit underrated. Obviously, it's not like top level, but I think it's good enough to hang in with a lot of these women's flyweights. And I think she's somebody that like brings a lot of entertainment with like, doing her crazy Joker stuff and things like in the weigh-ins and all that stuff. But not only does she bring entertainment, I think she brings like a certain lack of, or a certain amount of like finishing potential and discipline. Like, she's somebody that's gotten this high level in striking, whereas I think a lot of the female fighters are just mid, like very mid at everything, not really talented at, like, you know, anything. And I think that's what sets her apart, because I think there's a different level of like commitment to like the sport as an athlete to get to a super high level in one discipline, as opposed to just, you know, kind of being average at everything. To be kind of average at everything, you just kind of show up, go through the motions, and you don't really think outside the box. You don't think creatively. You don't think, how can I, you know, get to that like top level of a discipline. And I think she's going to bring that kind of mindset to the other aspects of her MMA journey, right? She knows how to get past just being average in a discipline and get to the top. And then now that she's working on, you know, jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, obviously she's not going to have the couple extra years of of experience, but she's going to have this kind of like knowledge of, you know, how to surpass just being okay at something. So I think Wang Kong over the years is going to get, you know, quite good at defending takedowns. It's literally all she has to do is learn how to defend takedowns, and she's going to piece up pretty much all the women in this division, and I do think she's going to win this fight. But no odds on this. Andre De Silva's pretty good, so I'm going with Wang Kong. I think she's going to finish her. I mean, I hope Wang Kong's going to finish her. It would be really sick to see, but I think I'm going to go with Wang Kong to finish her. So up next, the Chaos Williams, dude. I have such a hard time like hyping this guy up and then watching his fights. Like, we all see like Chaos Williams, man. You got to be so careful with him. Like, just like make sure like you don't stand up with him. Just take him down. No. His striking is awful. Chaos Williams striking, not awful, but like as a technician, like striker guy, it's not good. His striking it's pretty bad. But bro just throws hammers. Like, he's putting everything into these shots, and that's why he's getting KO finishes. I don't think his grappling is insanely good. I don't think his takedown defense is insanely good. I don't think his striking is insanely good. I think he's one of these guys who's, not even a little bit of a brawler. He's kind of a brawler. He's a brawler with a bit more technique, but insane power. He's got these natural, like, athleticism and just really good genetics. And when he throws super hard. And a lot of the times, if one of those hits, like even on, you know, you block it, you have your glove up, it's gonna rock you. And then he's got pretty good finishing potential. Like, he knows how to finish a fight if he rocks you or if he just knocks you clean out. I think you have to be a more technical striker against Chaos Williams, or just grapple the shit out of him. And like, to be a more technical fighter or striker and go like 15 minutes without getting hit clean is going to take somebody who's pretty high level in this weight class. Like, Chaos Williams is still quite good, and that's not Andreas Gustafsson. He's not technical enough to, you know, piece Chaos Williams out for 15 minutes and not get hit with a big shot. And I don't think his grappling is good enough to really dominate Chaos Williams. I'm going to go with Chaos Williams in this one to get a TKO or KO in the fight. Up next, Sergey Pavlovich. I think he's a great fighter. Man, we hear that all the time. Versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Dude, this is crazy. This is like, it's like the bagged milk, the white bagged milk versus the chocolate bagged milk like you see in the grocery store. Like, maybe not because you're not Canadian, but like, they both look like two bags of milk. Just one's chocolate and one's white. I hate watching heavyweights when they walk out, just because, like, man, they're in such poor shape, the majority of them. It's actually incredible. And both these guys are in really bad shape, but Sergey's kind of sneakily athletic, and so is Waldo. Waldo's got pretty good boxing. He's pretty good as well. I think Sergey's going to be a little bit better all around in this fight, and I'm going to go with him to win, although I don't really know how this one's going to go. I think Sergey's going to win it, but I don't know. These fights I'm not excited for, because the talent level, like, people are like, oh my god, the heavyweights are the best best fighters, whatever. Yeah, they'll be like not these guys. Like, I think these guys would get beat by like Islam any day of the week, even though he's way lighter. Their technique is shit. Like, it actually is. And that's why I don't like watching heavyweights for the most part. Like Tom Aspinall, Francis Ngannou, even John Jones, although John Jones is probably my least favorite fighter. at least they have decent talent, and there's like the top 3, top 4 in the UFC heavyweights that are actually, you know, kind of talented. Like even a Cyril Gane, like he's a really good striker. He has talent. These guys don't really have like they're not. It's not technical fight. It's like watching like, you know, two people that have been training for like a year and a half at a lighter weight class in the MMA gym going at it on a, you know, weekday sparring session. It's pretty bad. So yeah, I'm not super stoked to watch these fights, but I will watch them because, you know, who knows what's going to happen. Azmat Mirzakhanov versus Benson Ribeiro. I did not mean to click on Benson Ribeiro's, but I did. Azmat Mirzakhanov. I think, I mean, he's kind of sneakily, like, again, he's not the most athletic looking guy, especially compared against Benson Ribeiro, but he's kind of sneakily good. Dude, Benson Ribeiro's looking. He's pretty tall and lanky. He's got long arms for this division as well. Let's see his reach, 81 to 75. So he got a 10-inch reach advantage. That's a pretty huge reach advantage. Azamat Mirzakhanov is sneakily good though. I'm gonna go with Benson Ribeiro, but I would not be surprised by any means if Azamat won this fight whatsoever. It's just. Maybe this is just me again, like, I'm just sitting here, I'm looking, maybe I should do these without, like, you know, the pictures side by side, but I'm looking at this, and you're looking at the two guys side by side, and you're like, one's 6'3", one's 5'10", one's a 10-inch reach advantage, one is kind of out of shape and chunky, one is, you know, pretty shredded for 205, and you're like, okay, who's going to be more athletic, who's going to be in better shape, who's going to be more able to go, you know, 5 rounds, who's likely probably going to have better technique. Usually the people that are in good shape usually aren't as much of brawlers or have better technique. Just usually how it goes. But Azamat Mirzakhanov is kind of a good, which is kind of crazy. I love it says semi-heavyweight, so I think it's because it was in French and I translated it over. But you know what? I'm going to change it. I'm going to go with Azamat Mirzakhanov to get this fight, to get the win in this fight by finish. Honestly, I think he's going to finish the fight. But that could be also wrong as well. I wouldn't go like 100% with these predictions by any means, but it is what it is. Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van. Joshua Van is kind of like, you know, the new, like, big thing at 125, and fair enough, the dude is really good. He has not been fighting an insane, like, it's a really long time, but he's pretty talented, and he does really well in flyweight. So is Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva is a really good fighter as well. These guys give me hope for a fighting career because they're 5'5", you know, 5'4", 5'3", 5'4", maybe 5'5" if I'm wearing those heel sandals we talked about earlier. But I just think Joshua Van is going to be a little bit better in the striking in this fight. Bruno Silva's good. He's a pretty good grappler as well. He's well-rounded. Joshua Van is... He's definitely more of a striker, but he's pretty well-rounded as well. And his grappling and takedown defense is also quite good. I can see Joshua Van, for the most part, winning this fight in the stand-up, maybe hurting Bruno Silva, but also, you know, being in a couple of tricky situations in the grappling throughout the fight and, you know, pulling through. I don't think he's going to get submitted. I don't think Joshua Van's going to get finished. I also don't see him finishing Bruno Silva with a TKO or anything like that, but I do see him, you know, piecing him up, landing him in the striking, landing the bigger shots, and then for the most part defending the takedowns and fighting off submissions enough to get the win in this fight. I like the fact that Joshua Van is pretty active in his fighting. I think for a lot of people without injuries, if you're not getting injured, the more active you are, the better you're going to be when you go to show up and compete. It's the same for me, like when I'm doing my professional skiing, like in World Cups and contests. Like the more World Cups I do back to back to back, the more contests I do back to back to back, the more comfortable I am to show up. I'm in the start gate, dropping in like for whatever event it is. It's a big air in China. It's like scary ass jump. You're about to do this trick that you're shitting your pants thinking about doing, and the lights are up and everything like that. You know, it's on TV. Like you don't want to eat shit. You want to land your run. You want to make finals or whatever. But the more you do like events like that, like the first one of the year, your nerves are always a little bit higher. Second, third, fourth, fifth event of the year, like, you know, you know how to settle in. Like, not that you don't know how to settle in before, but that, like, the whole summer layoff, like, we have a summer layoff in between, like, competing. That summer layoff gives you, like, the first couple ones back, you have a little bit more anxiety or a little bit more nerves than like once you're really settled in. And I feel like Joshua Van is pretty settled into fighting, like at this point in time. Like if he took a year off in between fights, like he would be like, okay, like you have to go through what it's like to get in the octagon and go 100% with somebody. Because even your hard sparring, like it's not 100%. It's not the same as a legit fight. So I think he has an advantage of being in there a little bit more, being a bit more active. But he's a huge favorite. I don't think he's that should be that big of a favorite. I think Bruno Silva is quite good. Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque. Honestly, people always hype Vicente Luque up, and I know because I have watched some of his other fights. Like Vicente Luque, like he's a good fighter, but recently, man, I just watch his. He just literally plods forward and lets himself get outstruck, and he's there to lose decisions by just waiting for a chance to throw back. And I hate that. I hate when fighters do that. If you're walking forward like this, like I get the Muay Thai guard and everything like that. It works really well with big gloves, and it works pretty good in MMA, but you're just there to get outstruck. You're going to land 1 to every 4 shots that come at you. And if one of them just sneaks right past the guard there, hits you across the side, or just hits you, just in the fingers, and it's a hard shot, which is something like Kevin Holland can do. He throw like a really hard, like kind of, I guess, whipped, like overhand or something like that, or just 1-2 straight down the pipe. Like, it could rock Vicente, it could hurt him. I mean, Vicente Luque's got a pretty good chin, but I don't like these fighters that are like waiting for their moment and just letting themselves get, consistently outstruck. Vicente Luque is very plotty. He comes forward very slowly. Kevin Holland is a really long, rangy fighter, and I don't think Vicente Luque is going to be able to track Kevin Holland down very easily. I think Kevin Holland will, if he's disciplined and does, what he can do, is going to be able to just like, for the most part, just piece Vicente Luque up on the outside like the entire fight. Like just because even if Vicente Luque crashes into range of Kevin Holland, which I honestly don't see him doing that much, I think Kevin Holland can deal with it no problem, and I think he can turn himself off the cage and make room, or I think he can just get out of the way if Vicente Luque is coming out and just like just go off to the sidestep and make space. He's just gonna have to fight like a little bit slower at range fight for the most part, just outlanding Vicente Luque. And I think if it goes to grappling, I don't think Kevin Holland is gonna be outmatched in this fight. So I'm going with Kevin Holland. I think, let's see what the odds are. Yeah, people have Kevin Holland winning this fight. I have Kevin Holland winning this fight. I just see a lot more ways for Kevin Holland to win this fight. Vicente Luque, in my opinion, there's no way he's winning this fight by decision. He's not going to outland Kevin Holland, and I don't even think he's going to land the bigger shots and rock Kevin Holland. So I'm going with Kevin Holland in this fight. We got a big one up next: Patchy Mix versus Mario Batista. Patchy Mix is the new hot guy in the division in the UFC at 135. Man, watching this guy on Embedded, I was like, he has literally -3 like brain cells, it seems like, but whatever. He's a pretty good fighter. I haven't watched a whole lot of his fights outside of a couple of them, but he is pretty talented. He kind of gives you this like Nate Diaz-esque vibe where it's like some of the things you say, you're like, okay, this guy has brain damage and smokes a shit ton of weed, but he's still good. I think Mario Batista is underrated. I think Mario Batista is really good. I think he's fought some decent competition in the UFC, and I think he's very well rounded. Could I see Patchy Mix winning this fight? 100%. But I'm going to go with Mario Batista. I think, not that I think the moment's going to be too big for Patchy Mix. I think he's going to be there. I think he can get a submission. I don't think he'll knock Mario Batista out, but I think he can hurt him with shots. There's lots of ways for him to win, but I think Mario Batista is just a very good all-around like fighter in the UFC, and I think he's going to be a challenge for Patchy Mix. I think he's going to give him a tough fight. So I'm going to go with Mario Batista. I would also like to see Mario Batista, regain some of his I guess name value. I don't know how I want to say it because he got absolutely roasted for his fight against Aldo. He just held him against the fence. I would love to see Mario Batista like get a little bit more of the fan love back and move his way up the division. But if I'm making a prediction just based off that, like, probably shouldn't. But I do think it'll be a close fight between the two. It can go either way. I'm going to go with Mario Batista just because I kind of want to see him win. But but I could easily see Patchy Mix winning. I also think Mario Batista's got pretty good submission defense, so I don't really see Mario Batista I know Patchy Mix is really, really good grappling, so he could very well get subbed by Patchy Mix, but I think he's gonna have a hard time subbing Mario Batista. But watch, I might eat those words like right away. Who knows? All right, we got Big Joe Pyfer. Turn off the body cam. He's coming for Kevin Gastelum, dude. Kevin Gastelum has been eating all the tacos Joe Pyfer left behind in Mexico, man. I can't anymore with Kevin Gastelum. I remember very early on when I started watching UFC and I was getting into it, and he had his previous fights, and then he had his fight against Izzy and stuff. I was pretty high on Kevin Gastelum. I even followed him on Instagram and was like, he's on a mission for gold, dude. He's gonna come back. He's one of these top 3, top 5 fighters in this division. He's not. He's simply not. Kevin Gastelum lacks discipline. He lacks natural athletic ability, which he does do a good job of overcoming with his technique. He's quite good in the striking and pretty good in the grappling, and very, very good all around. He's actually quite good all around. But, he just lacks discipline, and he lacks the mindset to perform at the highest level. If you cannot keep yourself in good enough shape to be an elite athlete, then you don't have what it takes to be at the top level, no matter how good your technique is, no matter how good your head movement is. I don't know. We saw early in his career when he was fighting people like Izzy and stuff like that, he was in a lot better shape than this. And I was okay with it back then because he's a different body type, he's an interesting body type, but he was still in good shape. He was showing up to these fights in good shape for Kevin Gastelum. But I believe he missed weight for his last fight by a shit ton. He missed weight for the D-Rod fight. I don't know if he missed weight for the Joe Pyfer fight, but he can't even he can't be disciplined enough to get his shit together. I'm not trusting him to be disciplined enough to be consistently progressing in the gym. He's just not. He's just eating their chorizos or whatever the hell he eats and sitting by his pool with his family or kids or whatever and going to 1 or 2 classes a day max. So I'm going to go with Joe Pyfer in this fight. I think most people are going to go with Joe Pyfer in this fight. I think he can rock Kevin Gastelum. I think he's going to hit way harder. I don't see Kevin Gastelum rocking Joe Pyfer in the feet. I could see Kevin Gastelum having some good moments on the feet, but I don't see him rocking him on the feet. And I don't think Kevin Gastelum can out-grapple Joe Pyfer. I think Joe Pyfer can grapple with Kevin Gastelum. He's going to be a lot stronger. And I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Pyfer got a TKO or a sub. So, hurt him and subbed him or whatever. I don't know, but I'm going with Joe Pyfer. I think he's going to finish this fight as well. This fight, Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Pena. I kind of hate it because I don't know how Julia Pena is a champion. Oh my god. Oh, Kayla Harrison, Kayla Harrison's Kayla Harrison. She's a very, very athletic, strong fighter, especially for women's cock-weight championship fight. That's absolutely craziness. That's what the translation came out. Let's turn it off. The original. What do we got here? Let's see if it says cock-weight still. Wild. Cock-weight is crazy. Juliana Pena is an awful, technical fighter. She literally has her technique striking awful, her grappling awful, her athleticism awful, her movement awful. Juliana Pena doesn't do anything even averagely good. She's very, very bad. The only thing she's good is just she's gritty. Somehow she submitted Amanda Nunes. I don't know how. It was one of those things that happens. Same with Strickland beating Izzy. I think those are things that, happen on certain nights. Everybody has a bad night. But Juliana Pena is not a good fighter. Kayla Harrison is a very technical, high-level athlete in certain disciplines. She's an Olympic gold champion in judo. Again, we talked about having this ability to be very technical in one aspect. It's going to trickle over into other aspects. Juliana Pena doesn't have any of that. So, although their striking is both bad, Kayla Harrison is, leaps and bounds ahead in just physical attributes and also in the grappling. And Kayla Harrison is somebody that when she does grapple, or get you down. She's causing damage. She's looking to cause damage. And Juliana Pena just eats damage. So I see Kayla Harrison dominating this fight and dominating Julia Pena. I think Juliana Pena is a very, very technical-wise, like, poor fighter. Her last fight against Raquel Pennington was awful. Both their fight, like, both of them. Watching Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena literally made me want to quit MMA. I'm not going to lie. It was an awful skill for skill talent. Like, to have a belt off that is just... Like, you watch fighters like Valentina and you're like, okay, like, this is a very, very skilled mixed martial artist. You watch somebody like Juliana Pena or Raquel Pennington and you're like, like, the fuck am I watching? Like, honestly. So, for that reason alone, just because watching that last fight actually made my eyes bleed, I'm going with Kayla Harrison. She's a minus 600 favorite, which is pretty crazy, but I do not see Julia Pena winning this fight whatsoever. Okay, we got Merab versus Sean. I'm actually, again, a lot of people weren't so excited for this fight just because, you know, Sean's coming back off a quick rebound from his last fight and surgery and didn't have to fight anybody to get back to the title. But there's not a lot of other fights to make him bantamweight. And Sean O'Malley, although people are saying he's not the star that he thinks he is or we think he is, I think he is. I think he has probably one of the most exciting fight styles in this division in the UFC. Just going off of that makes him probably one of the more entertaining fighters. He does a lot of social media stuff and everything like that. So I think he's probably one of the more entertaining fighters in this division by far, if not the most, probably the most. But Merab is very entertaining as well, and his last fight with Umar was really good. Like, that was probably my favorite fight I've seen this year was Merab versus Umar. I really, really enjoyed watching that fight. I was so into that fight. That fight was really, really good. And Merab is super, super talented. Like, everywhere. He's really talented everywhere. His striking is not as bad as people make it look. He does a lot of, like, you know, kind of weird, wild, like, offbeat stuff that kind of make it look his striking look a lot worse than it is. But that all plays into his game. I think if Merab wanted to be a lot more technical in the stand-up, like you watch him hitting pads and stuff like that, and he was trying to be, like, as, like, 100% technical as possible, you'd look at it and you'd be like, okay, it's not bad. Is he on Sean O'Malley's level for striking? Absolutely not. But his striking isn't that bad. His grappling and his gas tank is next level. Merab, like, his ability to fail takedowns, keep going, and really, like, there's been a lot of talk about it from Tim Walsh and O'Malley's, like, kind of camps about, like, how Merab is really good at winning, like, 5-round fights in 25 minutes. And it's true. Like, the more I think about it, like, Merab is really good at swaying the judges in his favor, like, in terms of the Umar fight, like, with a little bit of showboating, which is also not just, like, you know, kind of swaying the crowd and the judges in his favor, but it's also kind of demoralizing to the opponent, and it also gives you that boost. Like, if you're ever, like, in sparring and you see the guy struggling and you're, like, you put on a smile, like, not only does that demoralize them, but it also gives you a little bit of a confidence boost too, and a little bit extra of that energy. And I think Merab is really really good. I think he's a really tough challenge for anybody in this division. He's kind of the pound for pound, like, not pound for pound, the bantamweight GOAT right now at the moment. I think if he gets past Sean O'Malley, like, 100%, like, he's the bantamweight GOAT. No questions asked, whatever. But I don't know, man. I just have a feeling that this one is, I'm going to sound like an absolute idiot if he just drowns Sean O'Malley this fight, but I have a feeling that Sean O'Malley is gonna win this fight. And are we gonna make predictions just off feelings? No. But feeling based wise, I do think Sean O'Malley is gonna win this fight. Some reasons I feel this way, watching Sean O'Malley in the countdowns and stuff like that, and in the recent videos, actually kind of swayed me a little bit. His striking is looking really, really good in some of those videos that he put out, especially like the last hard spar before the fight. I was watching it and I was like, his striking, his ability to keep distance and hold takedowns and stuff is really good. It's really good. He's been training his whole career to stop people from taking him down. But his shot selection and just striking and everything looks really good. He looks bigger. He looks stronger. His movement looks a lot better and healthier at this weight coming into this fight than he did in the last fight. And I think he's got a better mindset coming into this fight as well. I think one thing he realized in the last fight is that, I hope he realized in the last fight, is that he can't, okay, you're not going to outwork Merab, but he can't just sit back on the back foot and wait for Merab to come and try to counter him. He has to create moments for Merab. Like, he has to create moments to counter. So I think this fight we're going to see Sean O'Malley, like, not just wait for Merab to throw and then try to counter, but I think we're going to see Sean O'Malley try to lead the dance a little bit more. I think that's something he has to do in this fight. Obviously, like, you're not going to outstrike or outpace Merab, but I think you're much more likely to find a finish if you're hitting with 1s and 2s and, you know, keeping him guessing a little bit, and then when he comes in you counter, or like you throw a couple things and he throws a shot back or tries to close the distance and then you counter. Whereas opposed to the last fight, Sean O'Malley was just trying to keep distance as much as he could the entire fight and just land these one-off shots. I think Sean O'Malley, if he's mixing in more combos and maybe throwing a couple and firing back on Merab's counters, that he's going to have a lot more success in this fight. So I see Sean O'Malley winning this fight. I could actually see him winning a decision, which is crazy to say, but if he did, like, if Sean O'Malley does like 15% more than he did in the last fight, he might have enough. He might win this fight. Like if everything goes the same, but Sean O'Malley does like 15-20% more, like just output and a couple more damaging shots in each round, gets up a little bit quicker, like you can see those rounds going to Sean O'Malley. So I think if Sean O'Malley wins, I hope it is by finish, because I think that would make it a bigger spectacle. But I have a hard time picking these fights because I really want Merab to win and I really want Sean to win. Like, I don't dislike either fighter, and I kind of hate to see Merab's story end, and I kind of hate to see Sean's story end. But I do think Sean in this fight is going to be a little bit more well prepared for just what Merab's going to do and how he can implement his own striking into this fight. And I think his grappling is going to be a lot better than it was in the last fight. And I don't see Merab being, like, Merab's definitely going to be better than his last fight. I think his fight with Umar definitely, you know, will have boosted his skill level going through that training camp, fighting somebody like Umar. But I don't think it's going to be as much of a difference in what Merab's going to try to do in his output coming into this fight as the same as last one, as opposed to Sean. I think Sean's going to Sean has much more room to improve, I think, coming into this fight than Merab does. I think Merab's, you know, performance will be last time, it'll be here. Sean's from last time will be like here, right? So I just don't see, and even in the last fight, like, Merab held Sean O'Malley down like quite a bit, but for the most part, Sean could get back up to his feet or defend the takedowns. And I think if he does, like, you know, even a quarter, like, whatever, 1/4 better than he did last time, getting up quicker and defending those takedowns a little bit better, and then it increases the output and, you know, improves the striking like another quarter better, another percent, like 25% better, he's gonna win this fight. So in my opinion, I got Sean O'Malley winning this fight. I know it's kind of a little bit of a controversial take, and I think the odds are up, yeah, -300, which is pretty high. I don't know. I could see, like, I have a feeling Sean O'Malley's going to win, but I could also see ways that he can win this fight for sure. So I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley. I hope you guys enjoyed this prediction. It was a long one, 33 minutes, but it's nice. I'm excited to finally be back making videos I care about for MMA YouTube, because the last cards, dude, the Blanchfield card was the most brutal period I've gone through in MMA in the last, since I started watching, so in like 3-4 years, which is absolutely ridiculous. So anyways, I'm excited for this fight night, to say the least. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see next. Obviously, we'll do breakdowns and predictions for pretty much all the fight cards, but if you want to see any other videos, let me know. Obviously, I'd love to get some training videos. It's kind of hard to do, you know. I normally do like freestyle skiing videos where I'm like vlogging and everything like that, when I'm actually training and competing. It's kind of hard to do that in MMA because I don't have anybody to film me, but I think eventually we'll work towards that as well. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I will see you after this fight card. I'm really excited to see how these fights go, dude. I cannot wait, and I'm excited to recap them. I really am excited to recap them. So hope you guys enjoyed. And again, this YouTube channel is, a lot of it is like just for me to expand my passion and my love for MMA, because I really love it. I really like the sport as a whole. And I think it's really, really interesting. So for any of you guys who enjoy these breakdowns, I appreciate you being here. But again, a lot of this is just, you know, for me, because I really love it as well. So see you next one. Deuces.